For less than a single second, the moon did something it almost never does in front of human eyes. It flashed. There was no warning. No buildup. No gradual brightening across the surface. Just a sudden, isolated burst of light on a world we consider silent and unchanging. One instant, the lunar surface was dark. The next, it burned with a pinpoint of brilliance. Then it was gone. At first, the explanation seemed obvious. Lunar impacts happen all the time. The moon has no atmosphere, no shield, nothing to slow incoming debris. Over billions of years, it has absorbed every collision the solar system has thrown at it. So a flash, on its own, shouldn't have been surprising. But this one was different. Not because of its size. Not because of its brightness alone. But because of when it happened, how it was detected, and what else has been moving through the inner solar system at the same time. For months, the James Webb Space Telescope has been quietly monitoring subtle changes across our cosmic neighborhood. Not just distant galaxies and star-forming regions, but faint thermal shifts, transient heat signatures, and fast-moving objects that don't behave the way we expect. And as data from this lunar flash began to settle, an unsettling question surfaced. What if this impact was not an isolated event? What if it was a fragment, part of a larger pattern, an echo of something far bigger that had recently passed through the solar system? Could it be debris shed by a fast-moving object like 3I, Atlas? Or something released intentionally, a probe sent ahead, testing the environment? The impact occurred only days ago. At the exact moment it happened, a robotic telescope monitoring the moon recorded a brief but unmistakable flash on the lunar surface. It lasted less than a second, yet it released enough energy to be visible from Earth. What made this detection extraordinary was not just the event itself, but the way it was witnessed. This wasn't discovered later by automated software combing through data. An observer was watching the feed in real time when the flash appeared. That alone is rare. Even experienced lunar observers can spend years without seeing a confirmed impact live. Conditions were almost impossibly perfect. The moon was near its new phase, meaning the impacted region was completely dark. Had this happened a few nights earlier or later, reflected sunlight would have erased it entirely. Instead, the moon briefly exposed raw physics, unfiltered by atmosphere, as if it wanted to be noticed. Early estimates suggest the object that struck the moon was no larger than a few centimeters across, something small enough to fit in your hand. But in space, size means very little. Speed is everything. Traveling at roughly 35 kilometers per second, this tiny fragment carried kinetic energy comparable to a military-grade explosive. When it hit the lunar surface, that energy was released almost instantaneously, turning solid rock into plasma and light in a fraction of a second. By analyzing the brightness and duration of the flash, scientists were able to reconstruct the event, estimating both the mass and velocity of the impactor. The likely impact site lies near the Langrenus crater on the Moon's near side, though precise localization will require further imaging. This marked the first confirmed lunar impact flash ever recorded from Ireland, and only the second from the British Isles. A reminder of just how rare it is to catch these events so clearly. Small object. Enormous energy. Perfect timing. Those three factors rarely align by chance. Unlike Earth, the Moon has no atmosphere to burn incoming debris away. Every impact is direct and violent. That makes the Moon a natural laboratory for studying the population of small, fast-moving objects in near-Earth space. These centimeter-scale fragments are invisible until they collide with something. Yet they are far more numerous than large asteroids, and over long time scales, they deliver enormous energy. Each observed flash becomes a data point in a much larger story, one that extends beyond the Moon and into the dynamic environment surrounding our planet. And lately, that environment has been anything but quiet. When a lunar impact occurs, the flash is only the beginning. What matters next is the aftermath, the subtle thermal and chemical fingerprints left behind in the lunar regolith. This is where the James Webb Space Telescope becomes uniquely valuable. Webb doesn't look for visible light. It looks for heat. A fresh impact briefly heats the surface to extreme temperatures, creating a short-lived thermal anomaly that cools over hours or days. Embedded in that cooling curve is information about what struck the Moon, its density, composition, and structure. In most cases, these signatures fade too quickly to study. But sometimes, timing aligns. And in this case, James Webb was already observing the region for unrelated reasons. As post-impact data was analyzed, something unusual emerged. The thermal decay pattern did not follow the clean, predictable curve typical of micrometeoroid impacts. Instead of a rapid spike followed by smooth cooling, the heat lingered irregularly, as if it were being retained or redistributed beneath the surface. This alone was not proof of anything exotic. Local regolith structure, impact angle, or subsurface layering can all affect heat flow. But the anomaly mattered because it mirrored something astronomers had seen before, not on the Moon, but in fast-moving objects entering the inner solar system. In both cases, energy persisted longer than expected. Speed became the key fingerprint. Most debris bound to the solar system travels within a relatively narrow velocity range. This impactor sat at the extreme upper edge of known lunar impact speeds. That alone narrowed the list of possible sources. Random orbital debris became less likely. High-speed meteoroid streams became more plausible. Fast objects are rare not because they don't exist, but because they spend very little time near Earth or the Moon. Catching one in the act is statistically unlikely. Yet recently, the inner solar system has been intersected by multiple fast-moving anomalies. Viewed individually, each event could be explained. Viewed together, they started to feel connected. Scientists began reconsidering the impactor not as a lone traveler, but as a fragment, debris shed from a larger parent body. Fragmentation changes probability. A single object passing through is rare. A dispersed cloud of related debris is far more likely to leave multiple signatures behind. Reconstructed approach vectors showed a steep, fast trajectory poorly aligned with typical near-Earth debris populations. It didn't behave like long-term orbital junk. It behaved like something passing through. Archival data added another layer. Weak, short-lived infrared enhancements appeared along the reconstructed path in the weeks surrounding the impact. Subtle. Easy to dismiss. But consistent. The Moon had likely passed through a sparse debris stream, thin enough to avoid detection, dense enough for one fragment to intersect its surface at exactly the wrong moment. Material analysis offered further clues. The impactor appeared dense yet volatile poor, with traces of complex compounds altered by prolonged radiation exposure. This combination is uncommon and initially felt uncomfortably similar to material seen in recent fast anomalous objects. For a time, the idea of a connection to 3I, ATLAS seemed difficult to ignore. But science demands restraint. As models improved and more data was folded in, a clearer picture emerged. The velocity, while extreme, fell within known distributions during peak meteoroid stream activity. The trajectory aligned with a well-mapped debris corridor Earth and the Moon cross every December. The object was not interstellar. It was a Geminid meteoroid. A fragment originating from 3,200 Phathon, a rare hybrid object that behaves like an asteroid but sheds debris like a comet when it passes close to the Sun. Over thousands of years, Phaethon has filled its orbit with fast-moving rocky fragments. Every December, Earth plows through this stream, producing one of the brightest meteor showers in the sky. And the Moon passes through it too. James Webb didn't confirm an alien connection. It confirms something just as important. Our solar system is far more violent and dynamic than we intuitively imagine. Objects don't need to come from other stars to behave like strangers. Extreme heat, radiation, time, and repeated stress can transform familiar material into something that looks alien, moves alien, and surprises us in alien ways. The Moon wasn't struck by a messenger from another star system. It was struck by a reminder. A reminder that our cosmic neighborhood is not calm. Not orderly. It is constantly evolving, constantly colliding, and constantly capable of moments that challenge our assumptions. For a brief instant, the data pointed outward. Then it pointed back at us. And that may be the most important lesson of all. Because the next flash on the Moon, the next fast-moving object, or the next visitor passing silently through our solar system may not announce itself loudly either. By the time we realize why it matters, it may already be gone.